Welcome back. Well, the Chinese Communist Party government is dismissing the U.S.'s appeal for help in protecting shipping in the Red Sea from Iranian-backed Houthi rebels. China's foreign ministry signaled it will not use their connections with Iran to stop any attacks, instead saying, quote, major countries with influence need to play a constructive and responsible role in keeping the shipping lanes safe. Once again, addressing down from the Chinese to the U.S., the missiles used by Houthis reportedly are made from Chinese technology previously shared with Iran. Joining me right now is Arkansas Congressman French Hill, a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee and the Vice Chairman of the House Financial Services Committee. Congressman, it's good to see you. So much to get into with you. I know you've been busy with digital assets, and I'm going to get there. But first, what's your take on this with China? What kind of a response should we be giving the Communist Party of China, given all of their aggression and efforts to side with adversaries against America?
It's a huge problem, Maria. It's good to be with you. This is why it's so important that we win in this war against Western values. We need to defeat Putin in Ukraine by backing the Ukrainians. We need to defeat Hamas and Hezbollah in their attacks on Israel. And we need to defend the open seas of the Persian Gulf and the Red Sea. These are critical elements. And as you point out, China and Iran are backing Russia and backing these terrorist groups. China is buying 91% of Iranian oil. So they're fueling the Tehran mullahs in their backing of the Houthis, of the backing of Hamas, of the backing of Hezbollah financially and strategically. So these are all linked. And China is a major financial backer and diplomatic backer of the chaos that we're seeing from Ukraine to the Gulf.
I mean, we've got a new study, meanwhile, from Rutgers, and the network's Contagion Research Institute, finding content on TikTok is being amplified or suppressed based on whether it aligns with the Chinese Communist Party's interests. Congressman, we've been talking a lot about the propaganda war underway, but that's also part of this, isn't it? Because in addition to the, aggression like a surveillance balloon, which travels the country for a week, America surveilling American citizens, or the police stations, or the bullying of our naval ships and flights in the air, there's also a propaganda war underway pretty aggressively right now, is there not?
You bet. You've got the Confucian Institute still open on campuses in the U.S. You've got China intimidating their own citizens, as you point out, here in the country. But TikTok, who should be surprised by that? It shouldn't be on anyone's phone. It shouldn't be on any Wi-Fi network. It's a CCP-dominated technology, just like they do for everything else that they're engaged in. There's no separation between national security and the state when it comes to China, and that includes their approach to outside China with their technology, whether it's Huawei telecommunication systems or TikTok videos displayed on your phone.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, there's also an issue around what's happening with the elections, because we spoke with John Ratcliffe, and he said, yeah, China is going to interfere in the U.S. election. It's probably going to interfere in the Taiwan election, which is happening January 13th. And of course, we've got these efforts to keep Trump off the ballot. Trump was very tough on China with all those tariffs. Independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is going after California's lieutenant governor on X for her calls to remove Trump's name from the state's primary ballot. He writes, in democracy, we should choose candidates by voting, not by legal maneuvers to get them off the ballot. Even the Washington Post's editorial board writes, should courts throw Trump off the ballot? Not so fast, writes the editorial board. A 2022 New York Times article also is resurfacing online. It reports that President Biden was frustrated with Attorney General Merrick Garland for not going after Trump. He wanted him prosecuted. At the time, Biden said Trump was a threat to democracy and should be prosecuted. And, of course, that is exactly what the AG has done. So, Congressman, you've got a lot here. You've got China against the United States, working to keep their guy, Joe Biden, in the office. You've got a potentially compromised president and a potentially cover-up at the DOJ.
Well, we're getting to the bottom of the cover-up in the DOJ because we have 3 committees working overtime on the weaponization of the federal government under Joe Biden. And Jim Jordan and James Comer, I know, will get to the bottom of any lead in that matter. As to China, Russia, North Korea, Iran, they're all engaged in cyber operations and political disinformation online. There's no doubt about it that they'll try to interfere not only with our elections, but China, as you say, in Taiwan and elsewhere in Europe, for that matter. As it relates to Donald Trump being thrown off the ballot in Colorado, it's ridiculous. I mean, it was a split decision in a blue state, which shows you how controversial it was, even in their Supreme Court. No due process. Courts don't need to be involved in this. I don't think any of these state efforts will amount to anything based on a Civil War era 14th Amendment clause. We need to let the people in this country vote and have their voices heard at the ballot box.
Let's talk about crypto for a moment. You've been working on the digital assets legislation to calm crypto to be measured at fair value under new FASB rules. Of course, we've talked about that in the last couple of weeks. What should the legislation look like? Tell us where the red lines are and what you'd like to see play out here.
Look, Web3 and blockchain and digital payments, tokenized digital payments, are the future of not only finance, but of the development on the internet. And the United States needs to be a leader in this technology, just like we've been a leader for the past 3 decades in the internet and everything that's occurred for good in commerce on the internet. So we need a regulatory framework that facilitates digital asset innovation, digital asset investment in the United States, but that we do that in a safe and sound way, that investors and consumers and inventors know what the rules of the road are, and that in the financial sector, that those are in compliance with things like Anti-Money Laundering and Bank Secrecy Act. Those are important. And we're going to get that right. In the House Financial Services Committee, we've passed in our committee a stablecoin legislation that creates tokenized payments, and we've created a regulatory framework for digital assets. Our goal is to get that passed in the House, across the House floor, early in 2024, and work with our colleagues in the Senate to do the same.
Why do we need that, Congressman, if we have things like, I don't know, you've got a ton of digital payment options right now on the market?
We do. You have real-time payments. Everybody knows about Zelle and Venmo, and we're going to go to 24-hour, 7-day a week clearance with the Fed for real-time payments. This is about taking the dollar, putting it in a stable coin form so that it can be used internationally as a tokenized payment on a blockchain. So it's not the same thing as a real-time payment that we have through our bank account. We have a big, highly developed payment systems in the U.S., but this will be very beneficial, I think, in certain applications around the world, and using the dollar as the principal currency on the blockchain, I think, is an important development that will help the U.S. keep us supreme in financial services and technology.
Very, very important. Real quick, you had to have an opinion of Jamie Dimon's comments to the Senate the other day, right? He called it, once again, Ponzi scheme, crypto's Ponzi schemes, fraud, and he told lawmakers that he would shut the whole industry down if he had a government role.
Well, Jamie Dimon's a great CEO at J.P. Morgan Chase. He's not right about everything, and in this case, I disagree with him vehemently. You know, this is sometimes you stand where you sit, and the banking industry is concerned about decentralized finance. I think it's an overwrought concern. And actually, J.P. Morgan Chase has one of the largest digital tokenized payment plans in the world that they're working on inside their own company. So I think his statements were a little over the top. I wish him a happy new year, and I hope he can help us get the right kind of digital assets regulatory framework passed in the Congress.
All right, and we wish you a happy new year, Congressman. Thanks for being here.
You bet, Maria. Great to be with you.
And to you. French Hill joining us this morning.